And in that, one is for drug court to have her do a 24-hour sanction. That one is for a commitment beginning August 12th of 23 to August 13th of 23, and drug court sent her there for positives and for violating drug court. We have one for missing appointments and failure to provide a UA. And that was for May of this year, May 5th and 6th. And she was to report in on 5/17/24 for that sanction. It was to be 2 days in the county jail. That sanction comes after her other sanctions. She was to have a 3-day weekend on 10/8 and a 3-day sanction on 10/15 as well. Both of these are for having positives in failing to refrain from using substances. So she's been given 4 sanctions in this case without having to come here and stand for formal revocation in front of the court. So with that being said, she's been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And I'm very well aware of how drug court tries to bend over backwards to work with people, give them a chance to have rewards for doing well, because they do reward those that do well. They have the programs that have the ability to find mentors, prior drug court graduates that come in and cheerlead the ones that are going through the program. They have extra people that help you to do treatment programs. And we had the ISO from the 31st Judicial District here earlier when she was originally scheduled. And that ISO was not able to be here now at this time. And I'm pretty sure I knew what she was going to say because I had a conversation with them. And I also know that there was a drug bust in Neosho County that Miss Roundtree was at. And she's been given extraordinary chances to follow through. I just don't think that she is amenable to treatment. And when she was ordered to do this last sanction, you got to be there to do your sanction and you got to show up. And so as many chances as she's been given more than almost anyone else I've ever seen. And she has not availed herself of those chances.
Sir, can I see why I wasn't available for that?
I'll give you an opportunity to address the court later.
Okay.
All right. Mr. Paul, on behalf of your client, what are your recommendations regarding an appropriate disposition?
Judge, this is her, I would say, first formal probation violation in front of you, Your Honor. The first time that she's had counsel, she has waived it in the past. Judge, she does work in Chanute, Kansas. She's worked there she's had her same job for many years now. As it is very apparent, Miss Campbell Roundtree has a substance abuse issue, and it's probably a little more serious than she thinks it is. And so, Judge, I would ask that you sanction her appropriately and reinstate her probation at this time.
Very well, Mr. Paul. Ms. Campbell Roundtree, you wish to address the court and make a statement at this time in mitigation of punishment?
Sorry, yes. I've always abided by my sanctions, and I go to my outpatient groups. I always get men by everything. When I was supposed to do a sanction that weekend, I had been addressing in class and with my ISO that my daughter started having a drug problem, and that was really weighing on me really hard. And that same Friday, she was having delusions and whatever. An ambulance was called for her. And so an ambulance came and they came and found her out, not knowing what was going on. They got the police. The police had they got a search warrant for the house. So I was at work at the time. She was at the hospital. They searched the house, and basically everything was found in her room except for some paraphernalia. I've been addressing this for about a month or so at my outpatient group and with my ASO, how concerned I was about this. So that Friday, they searched the house. They arrested all of us, my husband, me, and my daughter, and we all had to stay in the Neosho County Jail. That's why I didn't make my sanction. Otherwise, I have complied with everything. I've paid everything off. I've
Okay, let me back up a minute. So you didn't report for your sanction because you had been taken into custody? She'd been arrested?
Yeah, with the whole family. The whole family was. Because we all.
Did you bond out then? Did you bond out?
Yeah, several days later. It's like several days later.
Did you then report to the jail as soon as you bonded out?
Yes, I did. I
All
tried
right.
to.
Did that be confirmed by you, Ms. Gillette?
What, Your Honor?
Did she voluntarily surrender herself after she was released from custody over apparently after this drug bust?
She was arrested.
I went to drug court the next day.
They arrested her. We got the warrant over to drug court and they arrested her when she showed up into drug court.
But I reported my ISO immediately after I got out. I had a friend call her my ISO until I was in there. I didn't know they knew that. And I tried to call her when they were arresting me, but they said I only had, phone.
Campbell Roundtree, hang on a second. I'm just trying to understand the whole sequence of events here.
Okay.
So you got arrested and you're saying you couldn't show up for the sanction that Mr. Ketley had essentially imposed upon you because you'd been arrested. And then you got released on bond, but you didn't go to the jail. You went to go see your ISO on the 31st instead. Is that what you're telling me?
Correct. I called her and said, hey, I just got out of jail. What do you mean do? She said, go to drug court tomorrow. It's like late at night. Go to drug court. And then they arrested me at drug court because I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea. I went to drug court.
Did you think that we were just going to let it go when you were supposed to?
No, sir, I did not. I didn't know what to do. I was asking my ISO what to do. I reported to her.
Did she even know that you had a sanction that you were to report to the jail for?
Right, but I was letting her know. I let her know that's where I was. That's why I wasn't there. And she said, okay, you have drug court tomorrow because it's late at night. Report to drug court tomorrow. I said, okay. She said, come to me first. At the time, I was wearing the drug patch that you wear instead of taking UAs. You wear a patch, and they check that, which is clean. I can prove it was clean. That's what my ASO Jackie told me to do at the time.
All right. So, what do you think this court should do due to your non-compliance, Ms. Campbell?
I know I owe a sanction. I do know I owe that, but I've been complying with everything. I'm trying really hard. I work, I take care of my family. I do all that. And I've been struggling with this problem with my daughter now for like months. Peggy at Ready Recovery is my outpatient counselor, which I still go to couple times every week. I go to her. And I've been talking about this for a while with her about this because of the struggle. And then that happened. So, but I informed Jacqueline of all of this. I had a friend call her while we were in jail in Neosho about being in jail and about my sanction. So she could let somebody know that I wasn't just blowing it off because I was not.
All right, very well. Ms. Campbell-Roundtree, I'll consider what you said.
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, I've been doing my best. I worked the same job for 11 years. I'm working my best to do this, and I just want to comply with everything. I understand I have to be accountable for my actions. So I'm just saying.
All right, Ms. Campbell-Roundtree, your crime of conviction was possession of methamphetamine. Almost always, that connotes that the person who's in possession of the drug is a user of that drug.
Right.
So on these level 5 possession of methamphetamine cases, treatment is the focus.
Right.
Much more than punishment. What all we expect in return is that the person who's been given the opportunity on probation for a rehabilitative purpose to take that seriously, embrace the treatment alternative to prison, and rather be successful in the community while addressing a drug problem.
Yes, sir.
You haven't been that. The number of sanctions, which I think Ms. Gillette reviewed for this court, indicates that the officer has tried and tried and tried to work with you. But each time you commit some sort of serious violation of the terms and conditions of your probation, and rather to seek revocation, he's tried to work with you in trying to get your attention through quick dip sanctions, which apparently you've had 4 of them. I'm still disturbed about the last one, when he again tried to work with you. You were to report to the jail for a sanction, and you went and got yourself arrested so that you weren't available to report for that sanction. It would seem to me that you should have known that the first thing you needed to do after you made bond was perhaps inform your ISO what was going on, but then report to the Greenwood County Jail yourself, surrender yourself the way you were supposed to originally.
I'm sorry. I asked her.
Don't argue with me.
Okay,
I listened to what you had to say, so why don't you listen to me now?
Okay.
I'm inclined to agree with Ms. Gillette. This is one of those cases, Ms. Campbell-Roundtree, that I believe the court needs to save you from yourself, because you don't seem to be able to make the good decisions necessary to be successful in a treatment program, which is meant to modify your behavior and to help you make better judgments. You were sentenced in this case on October the 5th of 2022. Here we are deep into 2024, and it doesn't even look like to the court that you've made any real progress in all this time, despite everything that Mr. Ketley has tried to work with you on and that treatment has tried to address. I think, using a colloquial term, don't take this wrong, you're a mess.
Yes.
And the only way that we can save you from yourself is to impose a long-term period of incarceration, where maybe you have the opportunity to be separated from these ugly drugs for so long that you won't want them anymore. And in a drug possession case, the court considers this a last resort, but I see no reason to waste any more resources. You know, I can't return you to the drug court program because I have an order from Chief Judge Kreitz, which terminates you unsuccessfully from that program. So we tried to work with you in a drug court situation. You failed that. They've kicked you out, essentially. And I'm not going to waste any more resources for someone who's not likely to be successful in the utilization of those resources. So the court will exercise its discretion under KSA 2237-16. I will make a finding in this case that Ms. Campbell-Roundtree has been willfully non-compliant with any treatment alternative that was intended in this case, that she's not amenable to probation, and it's not in her best interest to remain in the community where she's constantly exposed to and uses illegal drugs. So the court will enter an order outright revoking her probation, ordering her to serve time in Department of Corrections custody, starting with today. The court further will modify the sentence from its original 15 months to 1 year, 12 months, less any jail time or good time credits, which are to be properly computed. I don't know if you have a handle on that number right now, Ms. Gillette, total jail time credit days.
Yes, 7 days for the 7 days of sanctions she did.
And that's it?
She had no original term. She didn't
All
spend
right,
any
she-
time in.
She will be awarded the 7 days jail time credit to be placed in the journal entry, which stems from today.
Please, okay,
No further fees will be assessed for bids amounts, given the court's incarceration order.
please, just a few minutes of it. I've got to take care of my family.
Okay, settle down a little bit. If you're addressing the court, I want to be able to understand you, okay? Now, Ms. Campbell Roundtree, I've already entered an order revoking your probation outright, shorting your sentence to 12 months in duration, though you've done very little to earn that reduced sentence, but I believe a year will be enough. So what are you trying to tell me here?
I know I had a problem. I've been an addict. I've been trying to help my daughter. Please don't put me in prison. I need to work. I need to take care of my family. I can prove to you I can do this. I can do this. The only
Ms.
reason
Campbell
I
Roundtree, let me interrupt you and just say, if you really cared about your job and your family, you would have taken steps along the way to be more successful on this felony probation, and you didn't. So you're not willing to conform your behavior ultimately to be
sir, I
successful.
can't. I can prove it. I promise I can prove it. I know people say that all the time, but I can prove it. I got a husband on disability. I've got a daughter who's having a problem right now.
Okay, we're not going to argue all afternoon about this. The court has made its ruling. I would have rather you been successful in the drug court program and sat before this court as a success rather than as a failure.
Okay.
You had that opportunity through 31st Judicial District Drug Court, and you blew it. So the court's ordering prison in this case for the remainder of a 12-month sentence. I'm going to order her to be taken into custody at the conclusion of this hearing by the representatives of the Greenwood County Sheriff's Department until her custody can be transferred to the Secretary of Corrections. Anything else, counsel, that we need to address? Oh, I need to address post-release supervision period, which I presume 12 months. Yes, 12 months post-release supervision period is re-announced. Ms. Gillette, do you need any further clarification from the court?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Mr. Pod, do you?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. Then again, I'm ordering her into immediate custody to be placed in jail and on a hold until she can be transported to the Secretary of Corrections facility. Take advantage of whatever opportunities you have within the facility to get yourself straightened out, Ms. Campbell Roundtree, so that you can be successful and never have to come back to court again on something like this. If there's nothing further, then the Shannon Campbell Roundtree matter will currently be in recess.